And welcome everyone to week 4 of season 2 of the League of Barons. I am your host, Stephen Ford, joined as always by Joel Killingsworth.
Hello.
And tonight we have got a great match of a couple of locals coming to you here. On our right, we have Charley Hicks playing Scott Killingsworth, huh? Interesting. Joel, we are going to expect either no bias or a lot of bias.
Well, can I go back and forth as the whims take
Well,
me?
I mean, it's your kid brother, right? So I mean, this is the moment to be biased against him, right? You
Right.
gotta shove him back down.
Right. Well, I gotta say going into it that I hope he wins, and then in the eventuality that he doesn't, it's just gonna still be sweet. So for me, it's a win-win.
See, perfect. That's how it goes. Um, so right now, the two players are getting set up, and we're gonna take a look at their list here in just a moment. But so we have been through 3 weeks now of the League of Barons. We're going to take a quick look at the standings first. So right now, we're going to look at Conference 1 first. Now this is broken down, two conferences with 4 divisions each, and everybody within the conference plays each other. So in Division 1A, Eddie Pricer, I think, is currently 3-0. And then Division 1B, we have Charles Holcomb, a Hawk, at 3-0. Bouncing down to the next conference, our current player Charley Hicks here is 2-1, playing a 1-2 Scott Killingsworth. But in the other division here, Ryan Becker is 3-0. He's the only 3-0 in that conference. And then down in Conference 3, looks like Mitchell Hurst, five straight legend himself, is 3-0 right now. Um, and then looking down at Conference 4, Aaron DiPiano out of Dothan, also a 3-0. So and there's a Joel Killingsworth down there too. He's 2-1, but he's a scrub. Nobody pays attention to that.
No, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. So we are going into the 4th week, and we did just get a points update. And Joel, you want to go over the rules regarding points update?
Right. So points update hit earlier in the week than we were expecting. And so what we made this week is the players are expected to play with old points unless both players agree that they would rather play with new points. This game is a game of new points, so the lists that you're seeing are legal going forward, and the league as a whole will swap to new points uniformly starting next week.
All right. Well, you know what? That's enough of what is going on. How about what we have right in front of us? Joel, you want to take a look at Charlie's list and maybe give us a little rundown?
All right, so Charlie's list. We've got a twist on a classic here. Um, we have Hatchet Man with the canonical form of Vendor and Jendon carrying Emperor Palpatine, Vendor with advanced proton torpedoes, advanced slam to action after he slams for a stress, the missile slash torpedo loadout so that he can continue to fire his torpedoes even while weapons disabled, and fire control system for a little extra dice modification because the torpedo loadout does not allow him to spend target locks when he is firing through weapons disabled. To round out this list, instead of Vader, we have Echo running my favorite build for Echo, which is Lone Wolf, passive sensors, Fifth Brother, and stealth device. Interesting note on this Echo build. There was an increase in the cost of Fifth Brother by a single point. However, passive sensors on initiatives 4 and lower came down a point. So this whole Echo build did not change in cost from the previous point set.
All right. Well, we're going to take a look now at Scott's list. He is running 5 RZ2s. So leading us off, we've got ZZ, followed up by Greer, Ronith, which Scott said he had to trade out Ronith. He had to lose Zari for Ronith to make the points work because it was a little bit of a point shuffle. and then 2 Blue Squadron recruits, and then keeps it nice and simple, advanced optics and heroic across the board. So this is a good little list. Will peck you to death, given the time. But now looks like the players have gotten set up, getting dials set right now. Jindin in kind of a typical cornered position here, facing up against 2 of the RZ2s. And I believe that is both of the blue squadrons down there. Obviously, now I do believe, Joel, correct me if I'm wrong, Charley wins on the bid and elected to go second.
That is correct. So Scott is first player, which only matters on Greer versus Vendor and Echo at Initiative 4.
Well, yeah, I think what it really means is he's got 4 potential blockers for any of those ships. With ZZ at the I-5 able to move last and react to a real, well, I don't want to say it, but just to a real hatchet man out here in Major Vendor. Because as we discovered in playtesting leading up to the Denver System Open, Vendor is really oppressive to anything that is I-4 or lower. And he is right now staring at a pair of Blue Squadron recruits who he absolutely out initiatives, and who he can potentially one-shot, maybe with a little help from Jin. So Joel, longtime Imperial player, I know you're also a fan of the Hatchet Man. How would you deal with this situation as we're starting to see Scott make his beginning maneuvers?
Well, I like the opening positioning for Charley here. I mean, this is really it's not just classic Hatchet Man, but this is exactly the way that you want to set up with that Lone Wolf Echo, where you're essentially telling the other player that Echo is free for the taking. Come, bring all of your forces in and try to take me off the board. But Echo is going to cloak up. Echo has stealth device. Lone Wolf has 2 force because of Fifth Brother and Palpatine, both of which are available every single turn, and auto generates and evade. So we're talking rolling at least 5 green dice with all of these modifications. It's very, very difficult, especially for only 2 die guns, to do any damage if Echo doesn't open herself up, right, and leave herself uncloaked. So I really like this positioning here because there's the lure of the ace that isn't even really a weak point, and if Scott takes it, which it kind of looks like he is, that leaves him open for Vendor to just come in with maximum aggression and start dealing damage to these A-Wings.
Yeah, I think that's a good point here. Echo with all the mods, 3 green dice at minimum. It's a real tantalizing target for these 3 RZ2s. But like you said, 2 dice guns might find it a real struggle to get through. 3 shots, but evade, 2 force, probably a focus or something along those lines. That's tough to get through. So Charley did elect to spend the first Jindin charge, round 1, and Jindin obviously doesn't have a target lock ability of his own, but we did see Vendor take a lock here out on Greer, and Echo's got passive sensors charged up, ready to go, so we'll see where that lock falls as well. But yeah, I do think it's interesting seeing the RZ2s move like this and kind of leaving the opportunity for Vendor to really sweep up behind them.
Yeah, and even if Scott does kind of pull his A-Wings together to try to catch Vendor when Vendor comes up, there's no guarantee that he doesn't just leave an opportunity for Vendor to slam straight over him. And meanwhile, Echo is going to be able to turn around and take advantage of the exact same flank, just in reverse, that Vendor's trying to take advantage of right now.
Right, so we do see Echo's target lock from passive sensors go down on Greer.
Now this is one reason why you might want to start Echo a little bit closer to Jindin, because you would want to be able to take advantage of Jendon's ability and cloak both on the first turn. And that would require you to start close enough for Jendon to coordinate you a cloak and then do the passive sensors yourself on the opening turn.
Yeah, that would require quite a bit of redoing, because Charlie also set himself up for a bump here to kind of hold Jindin back, so
Right.
he wouldn't have gotten to coordinate. So yeah, that would have required a bit of a different setup. Maybe Echo in the place of Vendor and tuck Vendor down a little bit or something like that, because he can certainly make up ground as needed, and Echo likewise with the decloaks. So do you think Charlie is going to? Do we think Charlie swings Vendor in here, or is he going to continue to run off these I1s? What do you think the optimal choice is?
I like a 3 straight here, which gives you the option to 3 bank slam in. Or if these 2 A-wings just turn at you, then you just set up a lock, right? So, and then you get to actually use that lock on that shot because you haven't slammed, you don't have a weapons disabled.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see, because likewise, because of Vendor's ability, right, getting the extra green die when disabled, the A-wings could potentially be facing 2 3 dice defenders here, right? Or 2 sets of 3 green dice. That's more like it.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think though? Where is Jindin going here? Do we think Charlie is going to try to tuck Jindin behind, maybe like a 1 bank to the right behind Vendor, and set up for the potential coordinate?
That's possible. I tend when I'm playing, a 2 ace and support shuttle with a lone wolf echo, I tend to try to run the shuttle in a sweeping arc around the outside rather than coming straight towards Echo to preserve that range 2 bubble around Echo as long as possible for Lone Wolf.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, you can't get too close to the Echo too quickly. So Scott opting to turn his RZ2s back in, maybe kind of, uh, begging Charlie to bring Vendor in across the face of that fire. Oh, that's not Greer. That is Ronif also making a turn, so maybe abandoning the idea of Echo here. With the focus threes. Classic RZ2 maneuver here.
Yeah, with Charlie taking the extra turn to set up his cloak, it's a fairly safe bet that Charlie's not going to be aggressive this turn.
Right.
Because his goal is just do a maneuver, take a cloak, and then see where things lie.
Alright, so that is the 1 bank out of Jindin, so it does leave his action bar wide open. And we did, in fact, looks like coordinate a focus to Vendor, so Charlie may be happy to see these 2 I1 RZ2s turn in towards him. Maybe looking to get an early torp off. Because, of course, 3 green dice with the focus, that can fail you in a hurry, especially on 2 shields and 2 hull. Alright, now Greer opting to pursue the Echo. Maybe trying to keep Charlie honest here.
And with the heroic optics setup on the A-wings, they're almost never rolling below 2 hits. So it's if the target only has 3 agility, which Echo does functionally with stealth device uncloaked, then that breaks through every now and again.
Yeah, and this is the turn for it, right? This is maybe a range 3 shot here where Echo is just cloaked. There's no evade token available.
There is 2 force available.
Doesn't fix a blank.
Does not fix a blank. But he's also, if it's range 3, he's rolling 6 dice, 6 green dice.
Yeah, I mean they can fail you though. They can fail.
They can.
So Charlie took the 2 speed on the bank right here. So got a lot of options, but none of them super great.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're ready to slam Vendor in here and take 2 shots.
Now, I really don't hate this. Now that I look at it, the maneuver with Greer taking those 2 locks away, as far away from Vendor as he can.
Yeah,
Essentially saying that if you want to take advantage of what you got out of Jendon, I'm going to pull you through my entire list.
yeah, because Vendor's going to slam here, and you assume, okay, opting to go into the middle. So Charley says, not so fast, my friend. He wants to run that lock down if he can, but probably going to opt for a different lock here.
Yeah, he can advance slam for a lock into Ronith, who is the only viable lock
Only
target.
choice. Which that feels pretty good, right? Because you're avoiding shots from these two I1s down here.
Yeah. He did slam, so that is a weapons disabled token, which is important for Vendor, as that increases his the number of green dice that he rolls by 1.
Right. Does prevent the target lock spin for reroll, but FCS in the back pocket, along with a Palp Force maybe helping out here and there. Yeah, so this does look like Scott kind of saying, "Nah, I'm not accepting the Echo bait because Greer is set up to just too hard next turn and come right into the middle." So no shot for ZZ. Here's the range 3.
And here we get, for the first time this game, get to show off our new dice overlay.
Yes, hopefully all goes as planned. Classic
So
RZ roll, hit focus, and spin for 2 hits. And a couple of aids showing for Charley, so Echo is safe. Leon Clark says it looks spiffy.
well, thank you. I think it's spiffy.
We're pretty pleased with the outcome. So it looks like Vendor is going to spin that first proton torpedo here, going at Rona. So 4 reds into 3 greens. Oh, that's about as good as you want, right? Don't have to worry about an FCS reroll. Just spin the focus, make it 3 hits and a crit. Oof, just the 1 evade for Rona. This could be a tip. Got to see what kind of crit comes out here. And a disabled power regulator, which is going to apply an ion token to Ronith this round, so he will be ionized for next round. So that is not a good position for an RZ2.
Now, and with a 3 agility ship, a torpedo shot it's never a guarantee. So that worked out really, really well for Charley.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is the exact kind of mileage you really want out of a proton torpedo shot. So Ronith still has his focus, and this will be his opportunity to answer Vendor. Which, I mean, range 3, two reds versus 4 greens here. Charley can't feel too bad about that. Oh, they just remembered that the disarm token exists. Hit focus, so spin the focus, make it 2 hits. Woo! Blank focus. Palp's there for help, but he is going to cost at least a shield. Alright, yeah, there's the pout spin. So 1 shield back on Vendor. Which, so Ronith takes the ionization token. And I believe that will probably do us for the round. We might see a measurement here out of the I1s just to check, but I think the target lock showed them out. Yeah. So that was round 2. We're going to be heading into round 3 here in just a second. Hard to not say that Charley came out way ahead on that one.
Yep, taking no damage and reducing Ronith to 1 hull with an ion token.
Outside of just a straight direct hit dead, I mean, that's about as good a setting as you can get, right?
Yeah, no, that was absolutely the kind of trade that he's looking to get. There's a certain amount of efficiency that you get out of Vendor in this setup, and that efficiency is really high until he starts having to reload. So he gets 3 good shots, 2 of the long range torpedoes and 1 short range torpedo, before he has to start taking time out to go wide, start reloading, and then come back in for another pass. So you need every one of those first few shots to count, so that when he's in his less efficient period, he's bought the space that he needs to do that.
All right. So the real question is, do we think we might see the advanced proton torpedo into the 1 health RZ2 just for spice?
Oof, that feels like a waste of a torpedo, but it does guarantee the kill more or less.
I mean, it can fail you too. You know, five red dice sound great until you only have 1 reroll and 1 focus to spend.
But what Vendor really has to worry about here is that there's almost no way he doesn't get blocked, right? Because he's stressed. He only has a few blue moves available to him. Those RZ2s can be wherever they want to be.
Now, Ronith is leading the charge here on an ion token. There's no boost happening here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. So, and then ZZ moves after. So, okay, yeah.
Unless Greer can do like a 2 hard boost into a 5 straight, I don't think yeah, I was looking at that as well. I was like, oh, well, Road can just. Oh, that's an ion. That's just that's a dead RZ. So if you're Charley, do you go ahead and decloak Echo around and go ahead and start working your way into the center?
I'm sorry, say again.
If you're Charley, do you just go ahead and decloak Echo into the center here? Do you start moving yourself that way?
I think, I'm looking at his position. He can't really decloak toward the board edge, and he can't decloak right front, but I think he could decloak right back and end up at the top end of that chili pepper gas cloud.
Okay.
And then
kind of face up with Greer over here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at a 45 from it, so Greer would be coming into his side that way. So that's a possibility, and then decloaking straight either towards the board edge or in towards the clouds. Those are the 3 options that he has available to him. Of those 3, I like the decloaking back option because it provides an opportunity to potentially get behind Greer if Greer's too aggressive.
Oh, and it also kind of lets you preemptively block him, right? Because Greer would move ahead of you, but can't go there if you're already there because of the system phase.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're getting dials about set. Now, Jinden is kind of a dead entity this round, right? I mean, Vendor's stressed. There's no coordinate there. You're not going to get up to Echo. Well, I guess if you decloak Echo forward, which that is what's happening here.
Yep.
So you do have a chance here, Jinden doing like a 2 straight maybe, to go ahead and coordinate Echo, and then hopefully Echo's maneuver takes her out of that range 2 level bubble.
I don't see how Echo gets out of range 2 of Vendor this round.
Or at least both of them, right? I mean, if you're out of range 2 of one of them, it's hard to be out of range 2 of the other. So we are seeing Scott bring in his low initiative RZ2s here. Got one tucked right up behind Vendor. Vendor obviously hasn't moved yet. He might have wished for a little bit of a better angle for the second one.
Yeah, boosting straight here would be nice, but it looks like that straight. Oh, and it just
Oh,
fits.
nope. How does it feel to be wrong, Joel?
Feels like I should have moved the camera in.
Yeah,
No,
I wasn't convinced that was going to fit either. So
no, that's a really great position that gives him the full range of blue maneuvers for the following turn.
So there's the ionized maneuver for Rana. And now this does clear stress, as that is a blue maneuver now. Well, I say now. It's been that way ever since second edition started. I think Scott might have missed the stress token though. And here comes Jendon coming in on a 2 bank, occupying quite a bit of space here, and can definitely reach Echo on the coordinate. You could potentially barrel roll Echo further up into those clouds, just to kind of set up that maneuver. I'm not sure if that's what we're going to see here.
Because Echo could have that one hard right dialed in, right? And so if you barrel roll up towards the top corner, then do the one hard right, you're probably looking at a nose-to-nose with Greer.
With potentially ZZ right on your flank, too. And especially at range 1, if you start changing these 2-dice guns into 3-dice guns, Echo's, I won't say survival profile, but your chance to avoid that one crucial damage to the stealth device starts going down.
Right, and the minute stealth device goes, then you're much easier to continue to take damage.
Right, so that is a focus token on the coordinate from Jendon. So no barrel roll, no face to face with Greer. Charley must feel quite content with his positioning right now. Ooh, Greer taking a 3 bank right, maybe assuming Echo is going to do your backwards decloak here.
I think the backwards decloak would have blocked him. More's the pity.
Well, I mean that's almost kind of ideal, right? You block into Echo, and then maybe ZZ whips around. So that is a barrel roll for Greer to get a little extra space from that cloud into the boost. So probably no shot on Echo once Echo moves, but definitely better positioning than where he was to start that.
And again, he's taking that action efficiency that Charley got from Jendon and just hiding it in the corner where there's nothing that Charley can do with it.
Yeah, Echo's target lock is right behind her now. That's about as useless as you can get for a target lock. And also kind of declining to send Greer into the center where Vendor could potentially just rush up into his face and then pocket him. So we'll see what Echo and Vendor have for us here. Bit of a debate maybe. They are both I4, so Charley does have the option to choose which one moves first, which can be sometimes difficult to visualize with Vendor slamming around, because you're kind of almost visualizing 4 maneuvers between Echo's decloak maneuver and then Vendor's move and then slam maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here which one he feels like needs to move first. Yeah, I really like Scott's positioning on his I1s. I think he really kind of called the bluff, if you will, of Vendor and Jendon moving down the board edge and instead into the center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like to see the I1s be in a position where they could block. But other than that, because like wherever he put them, Charley was going to try to predate on them with Vendor.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Do we get the much coveted Vendor 1 straight into a slam 1 bank, and that would give you your advanced proton torpedo and wipe Ronith off the board. Because we're talking about action efficiency, right? You don't want to spend turns re-getting your locks and everything. The lock is right there already on Ronith. And now a interesting point to note, again, because Joel, you were talking about the action efficiency, right? Once your shots are down, and you get those charges back up, if you can slam and then advance slam the reload, 2 weapon disabled tokens does turn off Vendor's shot. The title does only let you shoot through 1, but we do see the 1 bank and advance slam into a lock. So we'll see where that lock goes. He does already have one on Ronith. I don't know if he's going to reassign it, or maybe they're debating right now.
So the question here would be whether you take the advanced proton torpedo shot to go ahead and just blow Ronith off the board, to not have to worry about it anymore, or do you anticipate ZZ ending up at range 1 and take that lock there? But
Okay,
it looks
so it looks like go ahead.
It looks like what you're about to say. He realized he already had a lock on the target he wanted, decided not to take the lock action, took a focus instead off of the advanced slam.
Yeah. So going for the very dead Ronith here. Echo on the 1 hard turn into towards the center of the board. Lone Wolf is super turned off right now. And you are looking at a shot from Greer. Probably it's almost got to be obstructed, I think. And ZZ has yet to move. And here comes passive sensors for Echo. Because right now, I mean, ZZ is in the arc. I don't know that Echo's got a shot anywhere else but ZZ. No. Okay, so Ronith is safe. Oh,
Ooh.
ZZ on the bump. So you were talking about letting Scott's I1s maybe do some blocks out there, and Charley is here to show you how it's done.
So here, ZZ gets to show off just what an amazing ship she is, and is going to get the focus token that she wants anyway by shooting first.
Yeah. The ability is really strong. It feels better when you can, replace the focus token you spent. So we got a blank and a crit. A hit crit here would have felt really good. This is going to Jendon. And the range 3 shuttle getting evasive and dodges it.
Using that ability, picking up the focus, saying bump, what bump?
Bump. And Echo had no... Oh, no, Greer's first. Yeah, they caught that. So Greer's got a range 3 to Jendon and a range 2 to Echo. It is obstructed. Probably just dreaming if you think you're going to hit an Echo, obstructed, stealth device, focus, evade, force, palp force, and yeah, he opts for the Jendon shot. And here's your high percentage chance, but no focus for Greer. Had to double reposition. And the range 3 Lambda getting dancy out there. Jendon put on his dance shoes. So now the real question, does Echo... Oh, no, listen, we're going to resolve the vendor shot first here.
Right, so we're going to roll all the dice here. And basically, Ronith's only chance is he's got to hope for a lot of blanks.
Alright, so got the weapons disabled token on, so FCS is the only reroll available to hatch it in. But maybe we get a little demonstration of how he works here. The Proton Torp into the APT, just full on menace.
Ooh.
Oh no! Hit focus and a trio of blanks. FCS produces another focus. And APT gives him a crit. And spend his focus for hit crit.
So you're saying there's a chance. Oh!
That'll do it. Focus, focus, evade, spend the focus. 3 evades. Rona survives the
Wow.
APT blast from Hatchet Man.
And
That is,
that's a big deal because now he doesn't have that APT until he takes time to go reload.
yeah, and Echo is triggering passive sensors, and I don't know how well Charlie's looked at the arcs, but when I looked in there, I don't know if Echo even has a shot right now. Got the range for the target locks for sure. I almost definitely Ronith is safe, and ZZ maybe as well. Charlie is trying to look down those lines. Right, elects to target lock ZZ. That's his best chance at a shot this turn for
Yeah.
sure. Struggling a little with the interface there.
That is no
So
shot.
even on the bump, ZZ throwing down the arc dodge. And Rona survives. ZZ doesn't even take a shot. We're gonna see some action here out of Jinden. Okay, so Rona can still die. We got a range 3 shot here from Jinden. Unmodded. Well, not unmodded. Palpatine's in the pocket here, so saying there's a chance.
Yeah, Ronith surviving the APT only to die to the Palp shuttle shot would be.
Hit, crit,
Oh!
crit. This can
Oh!
do it right here. This is gonna feel real bad.
Oh, there it
Oh,
goes. Oh man.
Palpatine there to clean up Hatchet Man's messes. Whew. Panic Pilot goes through. And what's the last one just for spice? Is that a wounded pilot? When you die, you are in fact quite wounded. And spoke too soon. Ronith not going to get a chance to shoot, so that certainly helps Charlie's um, advantage for the turn, I guess. We'll see how the I-1s do here.
Yeah, the main goal of that APT shot was to take that gun off of the table before it got to fire. But that Palp shuttle is still high enough initiative to get the job done.
So we do have the range 2 shot into Vendor. Vendor is disabled. Will have an extra green die in the process. Just Palp Force out there in the wild for modification, though. So definitely a chance. Oof, double blanks. Heroic!
Heroic!
There it is. Double focus. Spin the focus. 2 hits. And Palp says, Vendor, here, let me give you a hand, buddy. Make it 2 evades. I'm just got to face the range 2 shot here from the last I-1. So once more, 2v3. Focus crit. Call it hit crit for the A-Wing. Ooh, blank focus. Focus. No mods out there in the tank left for Charlie. That's going to be shields down on Vendor.
1 away from half points.
So you trade Ronith for almost half on Vendor. How does that feel right now?
I mean, hit point for hit point. I mean, it's 4 versus 3, so it's not that big of an imbalance, but Charlie's list is still firing on all cylinders damage output wise, and Scott lost a gun. Didn't even get to fire this round. So that's definitely in Charlie's favor.
All right. Even with the reload equation factoring in here?
It depends on how Charlie can get Vendor away this round, right? Because you've also got the fact that if Scott commits too heavily into chasing Vendor down, then Echo's just going to be able to feast on the flank, right? So
Right.
you've got to, in Charlie's shoes, you've got to try to manufacture that situation where he forces Scott to either let Vendor get away so that he can get his munitions back, come back, and just start eating more A-Wings, or string out the A-Wings to chase him so that Echo can basically do the same.
Now, we do have a bit of a situation here where the vendor's stressed, and he's got an A-Wing right on his grill, right? So the one straight's not going to do it for Charlie this go around. And I think Orange, the RZ1 down here in between the rock and the cloud, has a couple of ways to potentially block some of Vendor's maneuvers.
Yeah, now I pulled up the Alpha Class Star Wing dial, and the only blues on that dial are the 1 straight, 2 straight, and 2 banks.
Yeah, so that's pretty limited in terms of your options. 1 straight is already out. The 2 straight and both 2 banks are available to you.
The 2 bank right looks like it's going to take you right into that rock.
Oh, you have a slam that could 2 hard off the 2 bank. So I don't think the 2 bank's going to carry you nearly far enough to hit that rock.
Not hit it, but I'm not sure you'd be able to avoid it on the following.
With the 2 hard?
Yeah. So a 2 straight might be the safest thing just to avoid getting blocked.
I mean, do you think that RZ1's, and you got blue 3 banks here, if that gets you past, like right behind ZZ, that's your block right there.
Yeah, so what Scott's looking to manufacture is going to be to attempt to simultaneously block the 2 bank and the 2 straight with the positioning of the brown blue squadron A-Wing. So is that accomplished with a 2 bank or a 3 bank, do you think?
To block the 2 straight?
Well, to try to get right in between the 2 endpoints so you block both the 2 bank and the 2 straight, if that's even possible.
Oh, I think a 3 bank might just block it outright.
Yeah.
You just 3 bank it, take your focus, and rotate your arc to the back, and maybe hope you catch Jindin or something with it. So it looks like Scott's dials are set. Charlie only has Vendor dialed in already, so he's set on Vendor. No debate there for him. Just Echo to go now. So
Yeah.
Greer, go ahead.
I was about to say Echo is in kind of an awkward spot because he allowed Echo to get kind of drug into the middle of the fight where Echo really wants to be on the edges of the board on the periphery. So there's a lot fewer decloak options that actually net an attack for Echo here than would be preferable.
Maybe do the decloak 2 bank to the right, and then just go ahead and take your K turn that turn, and accept that maybe you don't have a great shot, but nobody's really shooting you.
I mean, K turns really leave you open on the following round, but
yeah, but you're Echo. You just decloak and go.
Now, like there's the aggressive decloak of a left front decloak. You end up right next to ZZ, and then maybe take a 1 hard in, but then you risk getting blocked by the blue there that's trying to block Vendor, and then your body's probably in the way of Vendor anyway. But Vendor could go first and jump through there. So if it's all coordinated exactly right, and Scott doesn't foul it up, then he could do something like that and still try to get a shot. But that puts Echo right in the spot that Scott's collapsing onto Vendor, and so that gives him a lot of issues. Taking the medium route here with, or maybe not.
Changed his mind. He's trying to get the positioning correct on the.
Nope.
Oh no, he's the wrong way. I guess. So K turn for sure this turn then, right?
Ooh. See, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure a K turn nets you a good shot because that. Greer's
It's
just
not
going to
really
end up
about
behind that
netting.
cloud.
It's not really about netting a good shot. It's about being set up for the run next turn. I just don't see another option from where Echo's
Well, I
sitting.
mean, Echo can move 3/4 around a circle without taking a red maneuver. So you can just go ahead and take a 3 bank here, and then have all the options for next turn. If
Right,
the goal isn't to get a shot right now.
So Scott took the 2 hard on the brown RZ2 with the focus and a rotate. So he's banking on this 2 bank here. Did Jinden just... Oh, Jinden fit!
What?
Yeah, Scott missed his block here, and Blue Squadron recruit number 2, the Blue Squadron, is looking at 4-dice shot here.
So we do have a coordinate into Echo. We could see a barrel roll toward the board edge into a 1 hard back in.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I like that. I like that method too. And here you go. So Jinden.
If that 1 hard is dialed in, then that was gutsy, because I did not think the shuttle was going to get an action.
I did not either. I thought he was either blocked or hitting the cloud. But I mean, worst case scenario, you end up there. You probably don't hit the gas cloud on a 1 hard if you couldn't pull off the barrel roll.
Ooh, no,
And then the
I think
decloak.
you end up right on it. Now, I mean, the decloak the following turn, you're fine, but that'd be a lot of vulnerability this round.
Obviously, Greer was not going to be there to block for you. So Greer focus boost in. Scott is selling out on the vendor block. He wants the kill. Oof, straight.
And that 2 hard out of the blue squatty there cost him the block, and vendor's just gonna fly away.
The 3 bank, I think, probably would have had you. Maybe you wanted the boost to cover the 2 straight at the end of that, but oof, that hurts. So vendor most likely slipping the net. Charlie's gonna look at his slam options because right now he does have from Greer.
Yeah, but I think the call here is definitely a reload, but nothing. Like, he's in 2 arcs right now, so probably a slam reload, maybe a 2 bank to the right.
You absolutely slam and reload here. Reload your APT. You think you've already got a proton?
Yeah. Make sure you have full range band coverage.
Right, which is the ultimate goal of Hatchet Man. That you're slamming and it doesn't matter range 1 to 3. There's always some kind of torpedo.
Yeah. So there's the 2 bank to the right. And he can take the stress for a reload or a token here, or he could opt to not take the stress to allow for a 2 hard slam on the following turn, which is what he's doing.
And here is your Echo 1 hard.
Ooh, that was gutsy.
Charley stringing together a real sequence of maneuvers there for Echo, getting the shuttle to not be blocked, not clip a cloud, get the coordinate. And here comes passive sensors, and I tell you, Greer feels bad right now because Greer could have rotated that turret, but he wanted the vendor. Oh, and ZZ with the bump as well.
Oh, ZZ's fine. ZZ will still get a focus token.
It's a disaster.
But you were talking about how, oh no, that blue is sitting there gonna get a range 1 shot from the shuttle, but I'm pretty sure that the shuttle's corner is in that blue's arc, so that shuttle's looking at 2 range 1 shots back.
Not if the shuttle kills it. So we do have.
Oh man, ZZ doesn't need a token.
Shuttle stays evasive with the evade. So that's just 2 more shields off, or 2 more. The first 2 shields off the shuttle. And that will trigger the ZZ ability for the defensive token. Now, I do find it a little interesting that Vendor did not reload that turn. Obviously, looking for the 2 hard into the 2 hard turnaround. But if you end up at range 1 or something, the APTs are not going to be there for you. Greer with no shot. Shuttle's actually facing 3 shots this round. The brown I1's also got the rear arc goal.
Right. Well, I mean, it's not a range 1, but
No, but it is a shot.
yep. And it is. He's got to focus. It's going to be 2 hits.
12% chance that it's not now, Joel. So here's the passive sensors for Echo. Let's see where we're looking for the target lock. Gotta assume here that it's Greer, right? You've got a target lockdown, Lone Wolf up, Force up with Fifth Brother.
I mean, Greer looks like a range 2 shot. He might have ZZ at range 3.
I'm about to say, yeah, if you can reach ZZ and get 2 shots into ZZ and negate the ability, oh, ZZ is range 3. I'd be tempted, I'm not gonna lie. But he did take the target lock on Greer, so that is range 2, just barely. Let's see what Echo's got in store for us here. Ooh, just a 1 hit. Target lock gonna come in handy for this one. And target lock reroll hit crit. That's a solid result. Greer with just the 2 focus, gonna have to take a shield on that. Not the end of the world, but you don't like the feeling of getting chipped, especially for nothing in return.
Yeah.
So here comes the Jinin shot. Palpatine gonna show him how it's done. And of course, they're both range 1, so we don't really know who it's actually gonna be at.
I think the call here is probably the blue squad to try to chip that focus off and mitigate incoming damage. If you chip the focus off of ZZ at this point, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean it's not relevant. You definitely go into blue squad. I agree. So
so does Charley.
Yeah, so the big stick 4 dice plop a Palpatine coming in here. Ooh, hitting 2 crits. Yeah, that'll do. So 2 evades for the blue squadron, and that'll be another shield down the tank. So rolling hot now, but you know the Palpatine has already faced 1 shot and faces 2 more here. Ooh, Vendor even clipped at range 3. Now here's the real challenge. Do you try to get the half points of the shuttle, or do you, we're looking at the Vendor shot.
Looking at Vendor.
No
That's
mods, just the Palpatine.
And he's gonna be rolling 4 greens.
Just a force though now to modify. Which is a very accurate 2 dice gun. And speak of the devil, hit blank, make it 2 hits.
Oh!
1 eye.
1 eye.
Palpatine can fix the eye, but that is going to be half on Vendor.
Nicely nabbed.
I'm really surprised that was range 3, just barely. But that will definitely help to equalize a little bit in Scott's favor.
Yeah. Looks like Charley didn't think there was another shot, was started to set up for the next round. Realized mistake, going back. Range 3 shot into the shuttle out of the brown blue squatty.
The real question here is how heavily does Scott punish him for this? Hit focus. Blue squatty's got to focus. So that is going to be 2 hits into the Palp shuttle. Palp found one of the evades, Vendor couldn't, so that's just a shield. Just one shield left on the shuttle, even though Charley trying to get a little cheeky there.
So that'll be it for round 4, moving into round 5, if I'm counting correctly.
You are. Just send a little message to Charley here about his shields, because he flipped his shield from inactive to active instead of the reverse. Trying to get cheeky there, trying to show off the regen.
So he undid the problem, but then didn't actually deal the damage.
Yeah.
So coming into round 5, we probably have a 2 hard slam into 2 hard, advanced slam into a lock from Vendor. There's
Right.
not.
Now, I'll say Hatchet Man got nicked here for Charley trying to conserve for this turn, so you got to get something out of it, right?
Then the Palp Shuttle would really love to be able to zoom up there and coordinate Vendor a focus to really sweeten the shot that he's trying to take, but I'm not sure that he can do it.
I'll say you think a 2-bank both clears both those RZ2s and gets you to range 2?
It really depends. I think it gets you to range 2, but it really depends on where Scott puts that blue squatty that's right in front of the shuttle.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, blue squatty's got to move first, so it has the opportunity to lay down a block, and not stress. So the full dial is open to that RZ2.
I mean, it's not like a stress really restricts the RZ2 dial very much.
Come on now. Sometimes people want to go fast. Oh wait. Come on now. Sometimes RZ2s want to turn around. Oh wait.
No, but I really don't think there's a downside to attempting it. So I think we're likely enough to see that 2-bank attempt out of the shuttle. Because even if it gets blocked, it'll probably have arc on the brown blue squatty to be able to use its gun. If you get
blocked by the blue squadron, you probably don't really go anywhere, right? You just run into ZZ because ZZ's still not be there.
Yeah. So you'd have a close range shot on the blue, which is even better.
Yeah, you'd get another chance to take a chunk out of them. So, Joel, earlier, Echo was moving into the middle, flirting with being in the middle of the fight, and Charley's got Echo out on the edge now. So how? That was where you wanted, right? You want to be out on the nibble, on the edge nibbling. How do you take advantage of that right here?
Well, you want to slide in one either left or right, and then come in, right? So the angles that leaves you is if you slide up toward the top of the board and try to come in past that cloud, you're not going to be able to come in straight, otherwise you'll run over the cloud. So you don't really have a great way to clip anything that's down in the center of the conflict zone. But you could go up and back toward the corner and then one hard back in, and so you're pointed in the right direction, but at that point you've got a cloud in the way. So coming down instead, I think, is a little more likely. And here we go.
Yep, there it is. While you're talking about it, Charley's making system phase happen. So we'll get the evade for that, and obviously probably just a 1 hard here.
Yeah, that's what I would expect. Unless he takes the 2 straight to try to catch ZZ.
Speed up 2 or 3 straight and try to run it down.
Yeah.
ZZ's full health, and we'll move after Echo. So there's your brown squatty making a 2-bank. Looks like it's really hard to say that you're chasing Vendor here, because Vendor's just got to be gone. But it does feel like that's what Scott's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Takes the focus and the rotate. So yeah, I don't know. Well, there's your 5 straight out of blue. Okay, so he's really trying to call this too hard slam too hard, right?
And since there was no reload last turn, that blue's sitting in Vinder's blind spot if he does pull off that maneuver.
You want to elaborate on that Vinder's blind spot?
Right, yeah, Vinder without the advanced proton torpedo charge up, if Vinder has a weapon disabled
No.
token, he's not going to be
You're
able
right.
to fire at range 1.
So Jindon did manage that 2 bank,
Yeah.
and that probably is going to be the coordinate. So that might solve your problem. Go ahead and get your target lock up, and then advance slam your reload the APT.
You end up with 2 weapons disabled tokens that way, so you wouldn't be able to fire.
Oh, you're right. Yes.
So there's a lot of resource management that goes into flying Vinder. I think at this point, what you probably do is you just go ahead and give him the focus, let him do the advanced slam into a lock to hopefully grab Greer, who may actually bump into the shuttle.
Now, another point here, blue squatty is already down a shield. So if there was some way, say, coordinate the lock here, no, you can't get around fast enough. I don't think the too hard gets you arc.
No, I don't think so.
So we do have the coordinate.
And I think it's just the focus and let him take the lock at initiative 4.
Yeah, there's the focus.
Because he'll know where Greer is at that point. And he can choose, like, if he has... Oh, there it is. So we're going to see... he's going to just have range 2 on Greer from where he's going to end up after the too hard, and he'll be able to use his last proton torpedo to try to take Greer off the board. Greer having already taken a single shield damage.
Missing that shield, so a proton torpedo coming in with no mods is going to feel pretty bad.
Here we have the 2 straight out of Echo looking to catch ZZ as ZZ continues on her extended arc, drifting out of the combat zone.
Yep, and there's your passive sensors, so get the option here to pick up that target lock and maybe make it sting a little harder. And here comes your too hard slam. Or the hatchet man.
Re.
Well, I mean, he set himself up first, right? He got his own ion token on the Tyraneth and tried to set that up and couldn't do it, and Palp cleaned up his mess, right? Well, now Palp is like, here you go, buddy. Here you go. Let's make this one easy. Here's a block. And there it is on the slam. Slamming in TTS is a little awkward. It's not an action. You essentially just have to reset your dial and do the maneuver again.
And here we see his advanced slam action taking a lock. Hopefully he remembers that he can't fire at range 1. Yep, there it is.
Yep. Going out to Greer. So here's the real... Go ahead.
This one shot is really critical to the rest of the game, I think, because if Greer dies here, then losing Vinder is okay. But if Greer survives this round, then that is really going to put Charley on the back foot.
ZZ all of a sudden whipping around on the 3 hard, gets the focus, and will shoot ahead of Echo, and then pick up another token for herself. So weapons free here, 3 dice into Echo. Probably have Lone Wolf up. Oof.
Ooh.
Worst result possible. Blank focus. No heroic. The spin feels bad even.
I think, yeah, you don't spend. You just go ahead and nab that evade from her ability and just say, okay, fine, shoot me.
Yeah, that's a painful turn a little bit. A little lost opportunity maybe. Greer doesn't have a shot either. His only valid target he is touching right now is Jimmy.
Yep.
So straight into the vendor and the Echo Show.
It would have been really nice at this point if he had taken that lock on ZZ.
I mean, I don't. That's probably not as good, just because ZZ picks up tokens along the way, and if you know Greer's blocked,
Yeah.
kill you can while you can, right?
So firing the final proton torpedo into Greer. 2 blanks. Not what you want to see. Only being able to reroll one of them.
XCS can only fix half of this problem. Into the focus. So he's got the focus. He's also got Palpatine's force.
I think he's going to come under fire. I think you spend the force unless you're more concerned about maintaining the evade token on Echo.
Nah, I think he's spent the force. I think Echo's got Lone Wolf here. However, ZZ is kind of trapped in 2 fires, right? You've got the rear arc of the shuttle. That's going to nix it too.
Oh no, Echo's already taken the fire that Echo's going to take. So yeah, you totally spend the force here.
Yeah, spend the force.
And Charley agrees.
Yep, there it is. So 2 hits and a crit with the proton torpedo conversion. 1 evade for Greer, so that's a shield and a crit. And if it's the wrong crit, it's a dead Greer. Structural damage, not the wrong crit. So Greer lives through the turn. Pretty beat up, but living is living right now. So Echo gonna look at some return fire here into ZZ. Gonna trigger the passive sensors for the target lock. So 4 into 3. Charlie's gotta be looking for a little better luck than that last. Oh, spoke too soon. 1 hit and 3 evades. Or 3 evades. 3 blanks. That's kind of like an evade.
They're kind of like evades, yeah.
So make it hits with the target lock spin. Not the best result. And ZZ can completely avoid the spending all tokens, which she does. Now, it does leave her vulnerable to the shuttle shot, but shuttle shot is also unmodified, so.
Yeah. So the shuttle fires next at initiative 3. I think you go ahead and try to plink into ZZ here.
Sure. A tokenless ZZ versus shooting at a focused up I-1? Yeah, range 2 to ZZ, take that.
Yeah, even though you throw 2 fewer or 1 fewer dice, I think the odds are just a lot better on this shot. Not to mention that ZZ's a higher value target.
That was a lot more points too. So 1 crit versus 1 evade, so that will keep ZZ safe. We got at least 1 I-1 here yet to shoot. Range 1 into the Hatchet Man. So 3v3, focus on focus. This blue squaddy gonna try to do 1 better than ZZ did, and not by a whole lot,
1
but
better.
a little better. Literally 1 better, yes. So hit crit. Let's see what the vendor can produce for us here. And 2 natural evades will make that nothing, basically. And our last RZ2 has no shot. So Joel, at the end of that turn, who do you think came out the better?
Well, I think that was I think it was definitely Charley. Charley made headway into Greer without actually suffering any damage on Vendor. And the danger this round was not killing Greer, but Vendor getting killed himself. So I think that this wasn't everything that Charley could have hoped for the turn, but it's definitely still in his favor.
Yeah, now Vendor's all out. He's 3 shots taken, and no more ordnance in the tubes. So you would imagine Scott feels a bit of a sigh of relief for that, going forward into the next round.
Well, if Charley can correctly guess Greer's trajectory, he could potentially do something like a blue 2 bank to the right, so towards the front of the shuttle, and then reload whichever piece of ordnance would reach Greer because he still has the lock on Greer, and then just shoot him anyway through the weapons disable token.
Right, and you're rolling those 4 dice versus Greer's 3. And you do have the potential here with the pouch shuttle as well to potentially set a move that maybe kind of limits Greer's options.
Yeah, just even something like a 1 straight, just get all up in the way, or maybe a 1 bank. It really depends, right? Like because he's got that one. He's not stressed. He's got the 1 hard open. He's got the 3 bank open, and that's just on that side. Like he's got the whole other side open as well.
Probably not the 3 bank to the left for Greer. There's a rock right there. But he's got other options, certainly. A 2 hard out of Greer away from the shuttle, or towards the shuttle's back, would basically be an unblockable maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have Echo out here as well, kind of lurking.
Yeah, and Echo continuing to be on the flank like she is has a lot of options on how to set up. If he decides that he wants to continue on chasing ZZ, he can just do a decloak left forward into a 1 hard right and be right behind where ZZ's going to go.
Probably go right back to the whole trading fire scenario, as ZZ can rotate the arc. You could also decloak to the right and kind of bend back to the side of this cloud.
Yep, absolutely. And then just do a straight maneuver, go up into the middle, and all of a sudden be chasing Greer.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that's happening. Charley's looking at the left side here. Yeah, so here's your bend out into a 1 hard.
And if it weren't for the fact that the RZ2s can flip their guns to the back, there just wouldn't be any way to compete with that flexibility of motion.
Yeah, but Echo sitting on the stealth device really hurts their ability. I mean, we've seen so far, Scott's been able to get 1 shot into Echo a turn, and that's just with the 2 dice guns, it's just not gonna make it.
Yeah.
So we do have the blue leapfrogging Vendor for a focus and a rotate. So potential to punish Vendor some if he doesn't go very quickly, which he really can. The 2 bank is his fastest maneuver here. Next, I1 taking the 2 hard, takes the focus, and probably just stays there, I think. I think if you boosted that forward, you kind of ruin your arc. Okay. So Jindin just taking the 2 hard, going after that that gas cloud.
Rolling a green die to determine. I don't think that's.
There we go.
There we go. Oh, it was meant to be a focus.
There it is. So that will strain Jindin as well as the stress. And looking at Jindin's position, he has no maneuver available to him next turn that won't hit the cloud. So not a great spot, but
I mean,
it certainly
he doesn't
covers
super
up
care.
There it is.
Oh,
3.
yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie, I'm really surprised because I would have expected Greer to go somewhere else, just because Jindin here, like the cloud and the rock, already kind of hemmed in those options, and that might have been Scott doing the reverse thinking there. Oh, did Charley go too fast?
Yeah, so Charley comes out with a 2 straight And he may, let's take a closer look at this angle, but he does not have arc on Greer, which means there will be no torpedo firing this round.
There's the too hard to slam, which helps with it gets him out of the brown shot and makes blue shot harder,
but he's locked himself into not being able to shoot at all.
Yeah. And I imagine unless Echo is doing some kind of big carve here, Echo is probably not relevant to Greer right now either.
Yeah, and a 3-bank here out of Echo would be really, really tasty, but that would just run right into ZZ, leaving Echo without an action.
Yeah, you still have Fifth Brother, I guess, at the end of the day, but
So we have a reload on the Advanced Proton Torpedo. Probably not remembering the crucial text on the Arsenal loadout.
We're gonna put a little text down in here and hash it out with him real quick.
Says while you have exactly no. He definitely did it. Because he turned over the charge. But the OS1 Arsenal loadout reads, while you have exactly 1 disarm token, you can still perform ordnance attacks.
I'm gonna down have a little chat with him real quick.
Well, I mean, we just let it happen.
All right, I'll let it happen. There's also a focus token on Vendor from somewhere, which I'm super curious about where.
That shouldn't be there. So let's look at this. So he's got, I think, 2 stress tokens. Yeah, he's got 2 stress tokens and a focus on Vendor. That shouldn't. One of those stress tokens shouldn't be there.
2 stress tokens. Maybe he meant to double disarm or something? I'm not sure. Either way.
But he only has 1 disarm.
Or a focus. We've broken Charley. We've made him nervous. Echo did do the 1 hard that was expected here. See, you're gonna let it go on. Alright, well, they fixed the stress.
There we go.
There we go. Alright.
Alright, so catching back up with Echo, that 1 hard putting Echo in a chasing position against ZZ, I mean.
Now, ZZ did just do the 3 hard, and there's the boost. Maybe that got cloud cover? I think it might have, just on closest point. It's going to be real close.
Now looking at, no shot against Vendor.
Just doesn't quite get the angle for the shot.
It's going to be a near thing on whether ZZ got cloud cover.
It's going to be real close. Looks like maybe there's a little bit of a discussion about the Arsenal card right now. They're both looking at it.
Yeah, it looks like they're moving on to an obstructed shot.
Obstructed range 3 by I mean it's oh wow, it's real close by a pixel or 2 basically. So plenty of green dice for ZZ here.
Yeah, looking at what is that, 5? Should have an extra one if it's obstructed.
5. Well, I guess they're not going to catch it.
Yeah, they may have called it unobstructed. No, they called it obstructed. Was it range 3? Yeah, it was range 3.
Alright, there we go. So that would actually make 3 evades on the focus spin.
Yeah.
So that will.
Charley just wants us to shut up and go away.
robbed him of damage, robbed him of his shot. And just one nice thing, right, about doing the actual stream where you have two or more sets of eyes just staring at it who can make immediate judgment calls. As opposed to a game somewhere in the middle tables in a tournament where there may or may not be a judge who sees something happen like that. So, Jendon's gonna look to make a couple things happen here out the rear arc. I'm not sure which one we're going for here. I think it was the brown one. Hit focus, contemplating that force spend, Palpatine. And there it is. 2 hits for the shuttle versus 2 evades for we're not sure who it was shot at, but it doesn't matter. I think it had to have been brown. So I don't think you might see a shot here from blue. Yeah, range 3 in Vendor. So Palp spent. Vendor doesn't have a focus. Hit crit for blue. Just the 1 of 8. That's going to be a crit into hull.
Sitting on 3 hull, not going to be enough to kill. What we're looking at.
That is a direct hit, so bring it down to just the 1 hull remaining on Vendor. So that is your second turn in a row where Greer is bumped, and he is staying alive.
Yeah, this is definitely a situation where Charley would really hope to have been a little bit further ahead on the damage race by this point.
Right, because we're looking at starting round 7. And right now, looking at the score, it is 32 points for Scott and 60 points for Charley. And there's you're 1 damage away from getting the rest of the points on Vendor, which would put you in the lead, right? If Scott loses nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And you're 2 hits of damage from getting half on the shuttle, which doesn't quite get you the lead back. I think half the shuttle would be
30.
So would it be 30? Well, that would get you the lead back.
Yeah.
But of course, if Greer goes down, and you do also have that blue squadron out there with 1 shield, so you've got a couple options for Charley to pick up and get some points to.
Yeah, because Vendor, that 1 extra hit there is another 32 points. Another easy 30 points out of Jendon. So Echo is going to have a lot of work to do in order to make sure that that Charley maintains a points advantage going into the late game, which is going to be, it's this A-Wings, I think a lot of times don't go to destruction just because it's so hard to get enough damage into them with the 3 agility, and they being able to dodge arc so effectively by being able to fly past you and shoot back. So I think the next few stages of this is all going to be about not setting up good positions for total destruction, but in making points-based decisions.
Right. Yeah, this is because A-Wings do like to give up half points, but they oftentimes don't like to give up that last pip of damage. So if you're Charley this turn, Greer is still public enemy number 1, right?
So Greer still has a lock on him from Vendor. Vendor can take the 2 bank towards Greer.
Yeah, APT is up. He paid the iron price last turn, got the reload.
And I think that's a good direction to go regardless because, you know, he's not, ZZ's really the only A wing in a position to pursue if Charley brings Vendor down toward the bottom of the board.
Yeah, I imagine we might see like a 3 hard out of ZZ, but we're probably gonna see Echo maybe bend it to the left backwards to try to get into that space that ZZ's gonna go into.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep, there it is. Speak of the devil.
We could see a one bank, we could see a two straight. Just trying to keep the arc as wide as possible to make sure that you do catch a shot on ZZ as ZZ moves to follow Vendor and try to hopefully do that last one damage you need to make sure that Vendor doesn't kill Greer.
Yeah, that could be a big difference if you can get Vendor off the board without shooting, and Greer stays safe from Echo and the shuttle. So Scott does have a little bit of an effort ahead of him here, trying to get his I-1s back into relevancy. Looks like he's going to opt for a focus rotate here out of Brown, just to try to shoot that arc back into the center. Maybe catch Vendor. Vendor bends away.
Is that saying it didn't go over the cloud?
It did not say that there was any collision
Okay.
there, which I'm pretty impressed by. It must have been just a little extra wiggle in that bend.
Well, I mean, it's not like there's advantage templates in TTS. Can't slide it to the edge.
There was some extra wiggle in that bend, Joel. Oh, Palpatine getting the focus, looking to get frisky in the fight here. I mean, I imagine Greer's just gonna run right into Palpatine, right? I don't think there's a good other option for him.
Oh.
I take it back. One hard avoids the cloud, rotates the arc, and then you got a chance here to pick up the focus and boost and pick up cloud cover from Jindin. And that looks like that's what he's gonna go for. And that might even, if Echo's just doing a 2 straight or like a 1 bank or something, that probably protects you from an Echo shot too.
Now if now so now Vendor is in not the worst spot possible, but it's not great.
It's
Uh,
a pretty irrelevant spot, right? So that's a 2 bank.
Now with Advanced Slam, he really doesn't care very much about clouds, so I would expect to see a slam to the right. So maybe a too hard to the right to get into a chasing position versus Greer for the following round.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of almost the ideal play, right? Because ZZ's probably not going to have a shot at you. If it is a shot, it's not a good shot. And like you said, you don't really care about the cloud on the advanced slam.
Or you could just take the two bank, make sure you have cloud cover. Though the following turn, if you do get a
It's real awkward next
yeah
turn.
yeah, you'd be forced into a turn, wouldn't be able to clear
Right,
the
so there's
strain.
too hard. You know, this is a great turn right here to just go ahead and reload a proton, right?
Yeah, if you're probably going to end up with a strain. See if they roll it. Yeah. Probably going to end up with a strain, so you're going to want to do a blue the following round anyway. Yep, strain. So there's not really much of a reason to not go ahead and take the stress for another action.
Right. Worth pointing out in the rules for those of you who might not know, gas clouds do cause you to miss your action on your maneuver, but on something like advanced slam, it's not going to have any effect on the action. The action's just gonna be there.
Looks like he's charting out his next maneuver to see if taking a stress here is worth it.
I mean, I feel like the 2 bank is just too good of a maneuver, right? You could 2 bank into a 2 hard, 2 straight, 2 bank.
But even like being this close to Greer, I don't think there's any. Oh, he elects not going into the maneuver for Echo. who is continuing to try to.
No, I,
I don't.
I
I
don't have
don't
a
understand this maneuver.
creative way to say that he's continuing to chase is easy because this is
Because
just
ZZ's just not going to be there.
I think Charlie overestimated or underestimated the bend
Mm.
when he went backwards on cloak and was expecting to be maybe straighter towards ZZ right now. Yeah, he's just got to recloak. So I guess accepting the fact that there is no way he's getting a shot this turn.
But yeah, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for Vendor to find a shot on Greer.
Now that gives ZZ free reign here, picks up the focus and the boost. And I mean, there's got to be cloud cover here, but declining, he should have a disarm token, shouldn't he? Slam.
He did. I mean, he's not going to get a
Okay.
shot. It's not going to matter this round. But
Talking about for his extra green die.
oh yeah. So he should be rolling.
There.
Yeah. So he should be rolling 5 green dice on defense for this shot. 2
Now there is a
naturally.
strain.
Oh yeah. So down to 4. So his ability counteracted by the strain, but he still gets 1 for range and 1 for obstruction.
So a lot of math here, just to determine his green dice. He does have Palp's focus or force, I should say, to help him out. They're rolling too many green dice, right? Is that what we just calculated? Looks like they're looking at it. There we go. So hit crit for ZZ into 4 greens for Vendor. Oh, the one evade. Wow. That looked bad for a second. So Cloud will
But then
save
we
him.
remembered there was a cloud.
Yeah. The consequences.
Yeah, so that is true. You know, when we're saying, oh, you know, this is a great time to go ahead and take the stress because you're gonna have to do a blue to get rid of the strain anyway. But he was pretty safe sitting in the cloud with the palp cover, and any shot that he took was going to clear that strain. So now he's sitting with absolutely no restrictions on his maneuver for the following turn.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that you just kind of let your opponent clear your red token for you. And Palpatine with a focus and a force, but focus. Maybe look at this range 2 structurally damaged Greer out the back.
It is obstructed.
It is obstructed, yeah. So it's still 3 versus 2. That might be too many green dice for Scott. Send a message in the chat here, see if they can figure out what it means.
He was firing at ZZ.
Not what I meant to type there. It's meant to be an A.
But shh works too.
But
I like it.
works too.
So that would have been a focus spend for no damage on ZZ.
Yeah.
Awful lot of arcs piling up here.
Yeah, they're not doing a great job clearing those, but either way, we are headed for round 8. And Jinden has basically removed himself from relevancy outside of Palpatine.
I mean, that's a great relevancy.
It's a strong relevancy. It's a very safe relevancy. Echo's always ready to pop back into the fight here, just bending on back.
Yeah, so I think a decloak left back followed by a 1 hard, just see what you catch, maybe.
I might just bank that actually.
You'd be pointed toward the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah, I think that's the better. A 1 hard on the decloak points you back towards Jinden.
No, The 1 heart on the decloak points you towards Scott's board edge.
I'll take your word for it.
Because it's a 45 and then a 90. So after the decloak, he's pointed at the top board edge, right? And then a 90 degrees pointed at Scott's board edge.
I guess I shall accept that answer, but I don't see that you catch anything with that.
Oh, I mean, he's been pretty dogmatically following ZZ.
Right, but ZZ should be ready to go get Vendor here. I mean, Vendor is in a position now where if he wants to catch Greer, which probably won't happen because Greer just turns inside of Vendor.
Yeah.
Right? Just take the 2 hard in and clear, rotate your arc.
Yep.
And Vendor's going to have 3 A-Wings kind of collapsing down on him.
So what does Vendor do here? Does he take the 3 hard to the right and then look for his slam option? To just try to slip the net?
Yeah, I think the 3 hard to the right's your best chance of getting out, because then you can do another 3. Wait, do they even have a 3 hard?
No, they don't have a 3 hard.
I was supposed to say, wait, that's way too fast.
That would be crazy. Nope.
So
yeah, of course
good.
they have. No, they do have a 3 hard. We're just not used to seeing it because he's always stressed, and there's no blue 3.
There it is. Okay, I was supposed to say, wait a minute, what's going on right now? All right, so yeah, 3 hard, and then probably look at a 3 bank or another 3 hard just to slide away. But again, ZZ can pursue and then be like, oh no, you slipped behind me, and then turn the arc around. All right, so here is the decloak to the left.
Yeah, so to the left back and pointed straight up.
Yes, Joel, yes. I understand your geometry. I mean, so we're in round 8 right now. So really, for Scott, the win condition is clear Vendor and then get half on Jindin, right?
Yeah, and then just don't give up very much more.
You're right. So there is the 2 bank? No, 3 banks to clear the stress, and then a boost out of Blue Squadron. So that's coming around nice and quick. Brown focuses and boosts for another stress. The arc's pointing the wrong way, but it at least gets you the trajectory going in the right direction. Yeah, and I think at this point for Scott, if you can clear Vendor this turn and not give up much to Echo.
Here we go. That's another major reason not to stress, is that you open up the possibility of a coordinate.
Yes, that's I was talking about Jindin just flying away into minor relevancy, and here comes the coordinate for a focus. Yeah, Greer turning in. Already has the arc pointed back.
Yeah, I think you just boost straight here.
Well, do you want to get closer to Jindin?
Oh, that's true. But I mean, you're already in a position where there's nothing Vendor can do to catch you.
Right, but if you boost towards... Oh, got the block.
Oh no. He didn't take the 3 hard.
Charley tried to get...
Oh no.
Block. Oh no. Did Echo just steal ZZ's arc by bumping her?
Yes. It was all a ploy. ZZ can't shoot now. Has no arc.
No shot. No, I don't know that ZZ wants to move here. You might just rotate that arc to the back on the focus and take a range 1 shot into Echo.
I mean, the victory condition is still half the shuttle, right? Like, go ahead and shoot at the thing that your 2-die guns can hit.
Right, not wrong. I get eager for those range 1 shots, but yeah. All right, here we go. Range 3 to the shuttle. I tell you, Echo bumping ZZ there. Whew. There's your hit blank, which becomes 2 hits, and ZZ don't care because of the ability. Blank focus for Palp. Do we spend the force? If we don't spend the force, this is half on the shuttle. So that's 1 shield right now on the shuttle. Oh, preserving the force. Can I try to keep a vendor alive here, I guess? Because that does half the shuttle.
Which puts Scott in the lead by 2 points.
So it is worth mentioning right now, Vendor has a front arc that works without shooting torpedoes, right? His weapons are not disabled.
Yeah.
So he does have a 2 dice.
And he can pick up points on the blue, which has already lost a shield.
Right, so it would be a 2 versus 3, which is what we're seeing. Hit crit out of Vendor. That's about as good as you can get. 2 focus, but that's a defensive play, right? Because now you got to spend your focus to prevent losing points on blue,
Yep.
and that might just ensure Vendor lives. Ooh, Echo. Echo's got a chance to pick up half points too. Range 3.
And it looks like Lone Wolf will be in play if he chooses to use it.
Would be the first time he's used it this game. Alright, so hit focus. So I imagine Fifth Brother comes in here for the crit.
Checking for Lone Wolf. Easy.
Oh, that's right. Yes. We just talked about Lone Wolf and I'm ignoring it. But we got a hit focus blank. So you could Lone Wolf a hit out of this. No, it's just focus. So Palp could push this over. That's a hit crit on the Fifth Brother. Looks like that's it.
But that one goes through.
Yeah, I think I would have spent Palp's force there as well just to try to kill this thing. But that does take shields down on blue.
And more importantly, puts Charley back in the points lead.
Yeah, Charley kind of making a little hay here out of Scott's big day. So we've got 2 possible shots here for range 3 Palp. So Palp is looking at this Greer. If this kills Greer, I think Charley's got it in the bag. Structural damage is still up, so that's a range 3 shot. Both ships have focus. Alright, so this is going into Greer. 1 hit for Palp. And 1 evade for Greer. So Greer stays alive here.
And now comes the moment of truth. Because conversely, if Greer lives and Vendor goes down, then
Scott's ahead.
Yeah.
It's not a guarantee, but he's definitely ahead. Because this is a range 2 shot, 2 dice versus Vendor's 2 dice because he's not disabled. Does have a focus for Vendor though. Oh, hit. This
surprise, surprise. Oh, he didn't have a focus. Okay.
Yeah, no mods. Well, that's focus. So Vendor's got a focus and just double evades his way out of that one. So, for a great bump and really 2 bumps for Scott there, that we saw 1 shield total.
Yep.
No, I lie. We got half on the shuttle. But we are going to be looking at round 9. And right now, Charley has a 79 to 62 point lead. So that's a pretty narrow lead, right? You kill Vendor and you get back right on top for Scott. And if the shuttle dies, you get right back up top.
Yeah, and Vendor's sitting on 1 hull. Jindon's sitting on 5, so it's going to take a little while to chew the shuttle down, especially with the A-Wings being so spread out, at least in terms of being able to collapse on the shuttle.
And I think the real problem for Vendor right now is he's looking at 2 I-1 ships that are going to move into his flight path, right?
Yep.
So Scott's got 2 chances essentially to get a block in here, with potentially Greer shooting out the back. And now Echo's got a decloak. Well, it doesn't have to, but has a cloak token, so you assume you're going to decloak. Joel, what would you look for here if you were playing Echo?
Well, it depends if I thought the right front decloak would leave me far enough south so that I don't clip that rock on a maneuver. Because if I could do the right front so that after the decloak I'm looking at Scott's board edge and then do a bank maneuver back down towards the shuttle, I think that's probably the best position.
Or maybe even a straight and just try to pick up one of these I1
Yeah.
RZ looking for a
Yeah,
block.
it all depends on that rock and where the two bank puts you in association with where the little finger on that rock comes out.
You don't want the game to give you the finger, that's for sure. Now, if you were Scott, what is ZZ doing here? Because ZZ's, basically only pointed at the shuttle, right?
I think you just go ahead because like you can continue to put damage into the shuttle. ZZ's not going to be able to contribute to damaging Vendor, at least for the next couple of rounds. You can set up a kill box with your other three A wings. I think ZZ just stays on target on the shuttle. Probably with a 2 straight into a boost if necessary.
Sounds about right. 2 straight lets you kind of shoot that gap. And then maybe Greer come around here on like a 2 banker, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. I think I might want Greer to definitely get to where you're not worried about Echo hitting you so much unless Echo really commits to being in that kill zone. But otherwise, trying to maintain arc on where you think Vendor's going to be to help push that last damage through.
I mean, Echo could always decloak to the left and back, and then do some kind of straight or a bank right through there,
Yeah.
and maybe pick up a Greer or a ZZ if they come charging in.
Yeah, could end up banking on through and end
Pick up
up
maybe
essentially right in front of where ZZ is now.
right, maybe pick Greer up and block ZZ in the process. Yeah, I imagine we're gonna see either a forward decloak out of Echo, one of the probably the bank to the left, or that decloak to the right.
Yeah, I think the decloak toward the finger rock is just a little too risky.
I mean, sometimes you gotta risk it for the biscuit. And I say that knowing full well that Charley is up, and assuming that Charley knows he is also up. And I'd just like to point out, Joel, from our pre-game discussion with these two players, uh, there's this whole argument about is Ronith better than Zari, and Ronith is dead right now. He died early.
But he didn't die to a getting bumped situation, so Zari wouldn't have been any better.
Shh. It's just the fact that he's dead. That's all we're looking at right now. Is the fact
Right,
that he's dead.
right. All right,
All right,
here we
so we're
go.
starting the
Moment of
round.
truth. Oh, coming in aggressive.
Yeah, and this is the maneuver I expected, really. Like you said, going out towards the finger rock is just a little too risky. You're still toting stealth device. You don't want to just hand it away for free.
Yeah, that stealth device is really the thing between him and just getting creamed by all of this consistent 2-die fire. 5 straight out of the blue A-wing.
Focus, rotate. I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect 5 straight.
I didn't expect it to fit either, but that is absolutely ideal positioning.
Yeah, so you've got the chance here, maybe that you finger cuff Vendor between two A-wings, or you block Vendor on the end of. If Vendor did maybe a 2 bank, I think you block him. Focus, rotate for Brown. Jendon's maneuver coming up here, just the 1 bank. Starting to flirt with that board edge as the shuttle.
Coming in with a focus, trying to maximize his odds of just nabbing that one extra damage on Greer that he needs.
Speaking of Greer, let's see what he's got in store for us. Alright, so there is the 2 straight. I think that's probably the safest choice. Pick up your focus, gives you another gun pointed back towards Vendor. Does Echo nab you here?
I think Echo nabs you.
Yes. Oh, got the block on the Vendor.
But
So
it is important to note that even if Echo does kill Greer, Greer is still going to get, one bank maneuver away. Greer is safe.
oh wow. So this RZ1 is facing a range 1 shot, but full health, and does have a token, and Vendor's gonna face 2 shots, probably both range 2, I imagine, with tokens. This is and ZZ hasn't moved yet. Obviously we're assuming it's just chasing the shuttle here. Yeah, there's your 2 straight. You know, I think if you focus and boost here, does it get you out of arc? Yeah, I think it does. No, it totally doesn't. Just taking a look there. I think it's still range 2 just because you're clipping the back corner, but range 1 for ZZ in the gym. Versus 1, and hit crit.
Yeah, even dodgy old Palpatine can't get out of that much fire.
Yeah, I
looks like he's preserving tokens, just taking all the damage.
I think he declined. No, he just deleted the focus, so I think he spent the focus to avoid what. We'll see if he flips this card. Yes, that's hit crit. He did dodge the one by setting the focus.
Yeah.
Wounded pilot on Palpatine. Because obviously you want to preserve the force for Vendor here, right? Yeah, range 2 out to Vendor.
High likelihood of 2 hits.
Very high.
It's high. Very high.
Very high. And there it is. Hit blank becomes hit. Vendor with only 2 green and just Palpatine to rely on here.
And it is not enough.
Dead Vendor. 2 hits are going to go in. And all of a sudden, this game is looking very Scott favored.
So Scott is sitting on 93 points, having killed Vendor and getting half on the shuttle, where Charley's sitting on 79. Scott only has a 14-point lead still. So half on any one of the remaining A-Wings puts Charley back in the lead, assuming that the shuttle is still alive.
Yeah, but you've got to imagine this turn, if the shuttle is a 1 bank or even a 2 hard, ZZ's just right there on it.
Yep.
So long as these A-Wings can resist Echo, looks like that is the shot we're looking at here. Oof, 3 blanks and a crit.
This is why you target lock.
Lone Wolf is definitely available.
Well, he's got the lock.
He took a target lock.
Yeah.
I totally missed the passive. That's right. So he got the lock. You're right. 2 hits and a crit. So can't do anything with that blank.
Much better.
Then reroll. But yeah, that feels a lot better. And just spin the focus, stop 2, and just the 1 shield on Brown. So there's your half point opportunity right there, right, Joel?
Well, I mean, for a future turn.
Well, I mean, I don't mean right now. I mean next turn.
Yeah. So, he's 1 hit point away from picking up points on Brown and Greer.
Now, we do have the range 2 shot here at ZZ. Just barely range 2. Just because of the angle that ZZ's sitting at. Now, ZZ is full health, got a focus, got an evade. Pretty unlikely she's going to take any damage, though.
Yep, so that's definitely the range 2 into ZZ.
So 1 hit. And all 3 evades, even though 1 went off the board, but yeah, that's no dice there for Palpatine. So Palpatine has got 3 A-Wings chasing him, 2 of which shoot before he gets to shoot, right? Oh, wait, we got 1 more shot here. Got an I-1 Blue Squadron going into Echo. Oh, the worst result.
There's
Focus
that 12%.
blank. Yeah, the worst result. Plenty of evades for Echo, no concerns. Now, back to where we were going with this. So Palpatine's got 2 A-Wings, 3 A-Wings really chasing him, 2 of which will shoot before Jinin gets to shoot. So the possibility does exist that Scott takes Palpatine off the board without firing.
I mean, I think Palpatine has to 1 bank and reinforce the rear, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think a 2 hard does you any good. But I mean, if you 1 bank and reinforce the rear, ZZ does a 2 straight, and ZZ is just range 1 of you and probably flanking you at that point.
I mean, the flanking line is about where your cursor is now. You're the brown cursor, right?
Correct.
So ZZ would have to nab a barrel roll to get that, I think.
Which kills your modification, yeah.
So that would all but guarantee you at least get to shoot, assuming something drifts into your arc.
Well, I mean, Greer comes around here on something, because Greer's not stressed, so Greer could 3 hard here. 3 hard, rotate the arc for free, get a focus, get a boost.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised at all to see a left back decloak out of Echo to just be really aggressive and get up in the middle there. Potentially blocking Brown and then taking a 1 hard after to try to nab Greer on his escape vector.
Right, yeah, that's something to be for Scott to be really conscious of this turn, is that even though he's an I-1, Charley does get to move ahead of him because of the system phase. So you gotta watch out for that pre-block.
So here we have the round counter being updated. We are now entering round 10. So including this round, we have 3 rounds to go. Charley decloaking to the right forward into a position where he is going to be unopposed in pursuing Brown to just nibble on some more points.
Now, I mean, this is the dominant position, right? The flanking, Lone Wolf is always on,
Yeah.
you're always behind stuff, but at the same time, it's the points that you really need are Greer's points, right?
I mean, Greer gives you 21, Brown gives you 19. It's not really that big a difference.
Okay, I guess that's fair. All right, so we do have the full-on advance, Blue swinging forward and looking for the shuttle, Brown swinging forward and rotating to the back here, looking to try and ward off a little pursuit. Ooh, that 1 bank. Mercy.
So now he's sitting on Wounded Pilot.
So any action is a 50-50 chance for a stress.
Right. So, I mean, I think the call here is to try and make sure you survive to your shot by taking the rear reinforce.
Yeah, I think absolutely.
And then the following turn, you could take it 2 straight to clear it, maybe.
Because Jinnen's got 3 hull to give. If, let's just say that ZZ gets in here, gets range 1, but doesn't clear the reinforce, gets 3 hits, you get 2 hits in. You have to get a full string, quote unquote, 2 hits out of Greer. That's still pretty likely. I don't know. That doesn't feel good. So Greer is here on the 3 hard with the free rotate. Probably a focus boost here. Go for the kill. There it is. Greer just shoves those blue squadron tokens out of the way. You know, that might have nabbed range 2, and I don't imagine him probably has a shot on Greer. It's close, though.
So here we again have the conservative move out of Echo, which I think is really going to hurt Charley this round. Leaves him without a quality shot.
Yeah, I'm not a fan right now. You know, you were talking, right, in the round prior or the round prior to that the A-Wings were kind of spread out and scattered, and Scott's doing a really good job of bringing them together, right? I mean, you got 3 of them right on top of each other right now. Which is, whoa.
Oh, there we go. We're going to see.
The smart play. He
Can't
gets
get a
flank.
boost rotate, though. Well, he can, but just not with a focus.
So he finds a different. I don't like this as the way of finding the flanking line, right? Because it costs you your mod and it costs you the extra die of range 1. Or we barrel roll in.
Okay. So he avoids the reinforce, does still get the range 1, but does not have a mod. Which takes that 87 point whatnot % chance of 2 hits and really drags it down.
Yeah, quite a bit. Is that position strong enough to cancel the reinforce? Ooh, hit crit here for ZZ.
And reinforce will not be in play. So that is potentially a hit and a crit. Oh, he's trying to decide if he's resolving the wounded pilot crit here.
Ah, okay. So no big deal on wounded pilot, just blank.
But with that roll out of ZZ, we're quite possibly looking at a dead shuttle this round.
Gets the evade, so crits going in. You know, there's a lot of bad crits out there, though. Did Charley just... Well, now we don't know which crit it is, because we put them right on top of each other.
Weapons failure and wounded pilot.
The reason I ask about it is because he put one card on top of the other card and then flipped it.
Oh, I see.
Which makes me question if I assume the weapons failure was actually the bottom card.
Well, it's what happened.
Yeah, you know. All right, so Greer range 3 at Palpatine. And here is your 2 hits.
Greer spending, but with only a single attack die coming back at him, he's probably feeling pretty good. What was the range of this shot? Was it a range 2?
It's range 3, I thought. Yeah, it's range 3. He should be rolling an extra green. See if that gets through. There we go.
Oh,
and the blank. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
We tried.
So
we tried.
Brings Jindin down to 1 hit point left.
And weapons failure, just a 1-die attack. Now, 1-die attack can kill Greer.
It can.
It's not likely. It can. Alright, so here's the target lock for Echo. It's going to be a range 3 shot into Brown, which just doesn't feel great.
I mean, all you need is 1 damage to get points, but that's not going to counteract the 30 points that Scott's going to pick up off of the shuttle. Ooh, 4 dice feeling spicy. All right, back down to 3.
3v4 here.
Ooh.
That's why you take the target locks.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Brutal rolls
I
here.
mean, it wasn't a great shot to begin with, but that just feels bad.
Spending the fifth brother here on the crit. 2 of 8. Doesn't matter. Woo, yeah, target lock not coming through. And, you know, Jinden may just be dead right here. He's got the blue squadron firing on him.
Yeah.
It's the wrong arc, Charlie. Alright, so we do have a range 3 degree from Jinden, so 1 versus 4.
Only 3. He does have structural damage.
Well, 1 versus 3, that's a good point. Yeah, Scott's just plowed along with that structural.
Oof,
And nothing.
that's not how it happens.
Ugh, no. So it does look like the blue squadron here is going to roll 2 versus Palps 2, has the opportunity to finish him off.
So Palp needs to get evady here.
Hit crit on the advanced focus spin. Advanced optics focus spin. There we go.
So any 2 symbols other than 2 focus will do. So close.
Nope. That's the blank. That will put a crit through into Jinden, and Jinden is going to go off the board with a blinded pilot just for, rub it in.
Well, I think he doesn't have any eyes anymore, so.
So Jinden and the Palp Shuttle go off the board, and Scott's still got 1, 2, call it 3 A-Wings alive with 2 of them sitting at half here. We do have the final range 3 shot.
Heroic.
I can't imagine this. Can't imagine this does any damage.
Well, I mean, Echo is out of focus mods. Echo spent her own force, and Palp is not on the board.
Oh, wow,
Ooh, gonna have to lone wolf this. And
needs an evade.
Still maybe use the evade. Oh no, has to use the evade to keep even a shield.
There's no reason to spend the evade here.
No, you don't give up points. You're going to lose the stealth device regardless. I think you keep the evade. You're right.
You want to be able to recloak. Wow, the wheels really coming off the bus here late in the game for Charlie. Oof.
And he keeps the evade.
Yeah, I think that's the right call, because you really want to be able to cloak, get your evade the next turn, still have some kind of offensive mod, because Echo's flying up a mountain now, 1 damage away from giving up half herself as well.
So the current point totals are Scott at 123 and Charlie at 79.
So that's what, 44 points that Charlie needs, or well, 45 points that Charlie needs?
Yeah, 44.
Well, 44 ties, right?
44 ties.
So 45 points out here. So you've got half on Brown that's still takeable, and another half on Greer that's takeable. That's not quite 45 points, though. That's only 40, I think. So he's going to need to kill 2 A-Wings and half a third.
Yeah, he's got to pick up. Yeah, he's got to pick up 3 more halves somehow.
Yeah, there we go.
And he's got to do it in 2 shots because this is round 11, which means he has to kill. He has to pick up 2 halves in a single round on a single shot, which means he has to kill probably the Brown, and then pick a half up on something else.
All right, well, here is the decloak going forward on the bank.
If we see an aggressive turn here to shoot the gap between the cloud and the rock, that could be enough to nab a good shot on Brown.
Yeah, because ideally you get range 1 and then take the shield and both hull off Brown. and then the next round you need another half.
Yeah.
Again, without giving up any points, and you've lost your stealth device on
Yeah,
Echo
so
here.
trading shots suddenly feels a lot less safe.
Yeah, and I think blue is set up really well to threaten a lot of maneuvers out of Echo. Not all of them, but a lot. I think I almost would have turned Greer in there, but oh well. I think Scott definitely knows that he is ahead right now.
Mm-hmm. Wants to preserve points, and also like he's not, they're not sitting here looking at the live totals and running the calculations with all the numbers like this. So Scott doesn't necessarily know that Charley has to kill either ZZ or the brown blue in a single shot in order to mathematically be able to win the game.
Right. And I imagine ZZ's coming around here on the bend.
Yeah.
Which means Echo is probably facing 2 shots.
Yeah. And, that's going to be 2 hits apiece, playing the odds there. And Echo only has 2 green dice to defend with.
You got the Lone Wolf, you got the Force, you got the Evade. It's probably enough to prevent giving up half. Here comes the Focus as well. Yeah, here's the aggressive ZZ. So pick up the Focus, rotate the arc, I imagine. Echo will be helped up by the rock here between him or her and blue, as that will add an extra green die.
And that extra green die is really... Oh, no.
Oh, no. Why would you know?
Oh, he didn't see it.
Oh, no. Oh,
yeah, wave your hand really fast. No.
No. No.
Yeah, it looks like they see it now.
Oh, you hate to see it. Yeah, that could be a really a pretty impactful error too, because
that
if
it brings ZZ into the range 1 where, with just a little bit of luck, ZZ does get 1 shot here, right? I mean, maybe a lot of luck.
It's just a Focus, though. You've got Fifth Brother to generate a crit. Like, it can very well happen.
But it also dramatically reduces the odds that, Scott's going to pick up that half points on Echo this round.
Okay, so it's not range 1. So still 3 dice into ZZ's 3. And of course, blank outs happen. Heroic also happens, though.
Does he spend Lone Wolf on the shot? Because he's like, with this shot, if he does not kill ZZ right now, he loses the game.
All right. Well, there's.
Oh, and there it is. Can't do it anymore.
That probably does it, because you would have to spend Fifth Brother and your Focus.
Oh, okay. So he could. So probably you'd have to spend. Yeah, you have to spend both to have any chance of doing the kill, because you still have to get a good crit in there.
He didn't. He just spent the Focus. So now, of course, we're looking at this reverse, right? Now that's a shield off ZZ. So Charley had to kill 3 halves in 2 turns. So this can be the half turn. He just needs to get 2 halves.
Well, this isn't the half turn. Like he didn't get any points this turn.
Oh, you're right. That's only 1 shield. You know what? Well, ignore me.
But in the
2 shot.
But no, you're right. There was still the option of picking up the 2 halves off of the brown the following round.
So that's going to be the 2 hits that we expect out of our Z2s. Now let's see what Echo can bring to the table. Oof! 1 evade.
He's going to have to spend the evade token if he wants to preserve half.
And
he does not. So that is half points. The game is officially over. From the perspective of knowing who wins.
Charley was mathematically eliminated after he didn't have ZZ. And that's the reality. So now it's just a question of, did spending the evade there guarantee that you don't give up the other half of, or not spending the evade? Did not spending the evade there guarantee you don't give up the other half of Echo?
Yeah, so MOV, since this is in a series of games, MOV from game to game does matter in the final standings. So preserving the other half of Echo and then taking as many points in the final shot as he can is still an objective that Charley needs to be considering.
Yeah, and I think the problem is with ZZ out there and Scott missing his opportunity that turn. I imagine he's probably going to look for some blood here, maybe try to kill her off the board. So Scott putting his dials out there, letting us know he's set. Now we are just waiting on Echo's final maneuver. Go ahead and make sure that round counter says 12. All right, there's the dial set. We're just kind of waiting out the inevitable here. So Joel, if this was you losing to your younger brother, what maneuver are you doing right here to get one last little dig in?
Oh, wow.
Ooh, Charley showing off here
I
on
did not think that was possible.
No, it's not, right? It's on top. Zoom in. It's on the cloud. The game just doesn't recognize it.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not possible.
Okay, I was prepared to be just amazed at that fit. There's no space between the base and the obstacle. Yeah, no, it's totally on there.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a failed decloak. I'll let them call it though.
There we go. Yeah.
That's gonna be a failed decloak. Echo is not gonna be able to fire this round. So we'll see. You know, Echo was expecting to be pointed down towards Greer. So we'll probably see either a straight maneuver or a bank to Echo's left.
I imagine we would see a straight here. I think that's what Scott's looking for too, with blue going straight and rotating the turret.
With Echo still cloaked, I think there's no reason not to boost here with Greer. He just goes ahead. We may have an arc dodge here. Yep.
Right now, yes. Yeah, I don't know if Scott realized the fact that with Echo decloaked, there's no threat to his ships.
Yeah.
Or failing to decloak. Takes the evade. ZZ does the maneuver to hop over a an Echo that's in a very different place now. But I imagine now rolling 4 dice as opposed to the 2 after losing the stealth device.
Yeah.
That certainly helps against the 2 dice attacks. Alright, so ZZ range 2 into Echo. Hit crit. About as good as you could ask for. Just the 1 evade. Does have force, does have an evade token. And elects to spend the force. And yeah, I don't know if Scott's got any more shots. Greer's might be a long 3. Oh yeah, long 3 for Greer. Hey, what do you know? It's gonna be hit crit versus fire greens this time, though.
Man,
And
just
there's the
can't
evade.
catch a break there.
I
Probably
think
spin Lone Wolf to start. Oh, going with the evade.
I don't think you're facing it those shots here, Zachary, though.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
Probably a little too far. Yeah.
All
And
right.
I don't think we've got the angle. Nope.
So
So that's gonna do it.
yeah. So win for Scott, 161 to 79.
And everybody stick with us for just a moment. We're gonna bring the players up here to relive the triumphs and re-experience the agonies. So just one moment. Alrighty, well, Scott and Charlie, thank you so much for the game tonight. Scott, congratulations. Charlie,
Thank you.
condolences. Uh, guys, you wanna break it down? Scott, where did it start to go right for you?
Um,
Wow.
I think things really started to go right with some of the lucky hits I was getting in on Vendor, and I just started hounding him, and
Wait,
then
hold on. Lucky hits. Lucky hits.
I mean,
Fortunate non-evades, I should say.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'll say
the
RZ2s
time
don't
on target
produce lucky hits.
and the safest house is 2 dice every time is yeah.
but I definitely felt this game was very uh, uh, accident prone. I boosted in with 2 RZ2s that didn't have their arcs out the front,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
there's
then
the one there at the end was easy, and then the one earlier in the game with when you were trying to get him turned around.
yeah. Could you
Yep.
imagine if that had carried me into Rage 1?
That was, see, we thought it had, and so because at that point in the game, the path to victory for Charlie was he had to get 3 halves of RZ2s in 2 shots in order to win.
Yeah.
And so ZZ, a full health ZZ, just plowing up into range 1 was definitely the fastest way to get there.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a couple of times where I felt I risked something and it didn't. I don't know. I wasn't punished badly for it. Like ZZ got all kind of caught up on Jinden for a while, Greer too, and I don't know, that not costing me as much as it probably should have. I think was a big part of me being able to kind of pick away and get through it.
Yeah, I think we both definitely thought Greer was going to go down when once Jendon
Yep.
blocked him. So Charlie, now that we've relived a few moments, where did it all go wrong?
Couple of moments. I mean, obviously the double disarm taking Bender out of the game. That was an inconvenience, but I really thought that I could capitalize on that. His blocking game was very good and kept me from going ahead and dispatching uh, Greer at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the frustrating moment where, for whatever reason, TTS decided that I had done a 1 hard instead of a 4 straight, that really got my dander up.
Oh, that's what happened with Echo by the
Yeah.
gas well?
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, we were both like, well, there's nothing good to say about that.
No. I was like 4 straight safest house and that flipped, and it's like, oh cool, one. Yeah, that's absolutely the move I did because I would do that move. So, but I mean, that kind of goes into the whole thing of like turning your arcs and everything. And it just happens. So that was bad. The not being able to actually uh, get my chances for offense to actually have any meaningful damage results was uh, just repeatedly blunting any chance I had to actually do anything towards the latter half of the game. But I mean, part of that was also, like I said, Scott's uh, very good about not just like throwing the blocks with his blues, but also getting all of his support in there to get the job done on that. So I mean, he really took the teeth out of Vendor, definitely late game. But it was a little bit more frustrating with Echo, just because I did repeatedly have statistically viable offense, and it just didn't pan.
Yeah.
Well, if you're interested, we have TTS has now role analysis feature in it, right?
Mm.
And so Stephen has kindly thrown that output up in the chat, and according
Now
to
it does bear acknowledging that for stuff like wounded pilot, et cetera, running over obstacles, those kind of roles, those are lumped in here too. So
and in those cases, bad is actually good. So it's take it for what it is. But according to these stats, you did end up having around 9 total hits, and that's a lack of reds and a lack of greens, below statistically average for the number of dice that you rolled. Whereas Scott had a total of 3 more
Yeah.
than average. So like that's not terribly impactful in terms of statistical variance. It's really not outside of the expected for the bell curve. But if you were looking for exactly average results, that is a total of 12 results in Scott's favor from the statistical average. Now that also doesn't take into account results that didn't have any effect, like evades, more like rolls where Scott rolled 3 evades, but you only rolled 1 hit. Like that's 2 evades that don't actually have any meaning. And so those would get counted in here as well. So it's an interesting thing, but I wouldn't really
yeah, I wouldn't put
put
much
anything
stock
on
in
it.
it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more just kind of there, something to look at. I just thought it was interesting because Charley, made the statement. Well, felt like I had a couple of chances to capitalize, and the hits didn't quite show up. And I think that we all kind of could tell. Obviously from Scott's side of thing, RZ2s are like, oh no, the hits didn't show up. But what if they did?
Yeah.
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 And through the whole first half of the game, those RC2s have incredibly consistent offense, but both Vendor and Echo are rolling 3 greens almost all the time, and it's
Yeah.
really with
3 to 4. Yeah.
especially with a lot of tokens backing them up, it's really difficult for the RZ2s to push damage through. So I think that there was a fair amount of Scott getting lucky in the opening engagement of doing so much damage to Vendor without just getting annihilated by the return fire.
Yeah.
I mean, it was also he never really had his A wings in a position where they were on both, basically getting bookended by Vendor and Echo. That was never something that I could actually frame in my engagement. And I was at a disadvantage because of that.
Yeah.
So
And I think a large part of that was actually your choice to try to utilize Jindin's ability with Echo on the first turn. Instead of going ahead and putting yourself going ahead and grabbing the cloak, putting yourself in a position where you could have maximum reposition from the very second turn of the game.
I agree.
Or Joel's actual proposal in the stream commentary was to swap Vendor and Echo's placement.
Well, no, not really swap
their
them, but
placement,
just move.
but bring Echo closer,
Yeah.
so you could coordinate the cloak onto Echo and then get the target lock with Echo's action on passive. Just go to make it happen that first turn.
Yeah, I'd weighed in coming into this game about how I was going to open based on that, where I was like, well, do I just go ahead and prime up the cloak and then maybe burn both of Jenden's charges in the slow roll, or do I just go ahead and maximize the utility off of one of those charges? And I think in retrospect, yeah, I probably would have just gone ahead and loaded up the cloak and let it go like that.
I mean, having said that, I think the turn, or not, maybe not the turn, it was probably 2 turns where the game really shifted, was kind of the combo of Vendor running out of steam. He got all his torps off, and then when he came back around, he ended up in a spot where he couldn't actually unload a torp. And it let Scott get the I1s back around, because that was, again, Joel, something that you mentioned early on, was that the I1s chased instead of being able to block because of just the way that y'all entered the engagement. And then once the I1s came alive as blockers, that really sealed Vendor's fate.
Yeah, I mean, landing that block, because there was a moment there where if the range wasn't right, I mean, I had the 3 bank and the 3 bank ready to go, so just to get him out to the next county. Obviously, the block place. So I mean, that's big feather in Scott's hat. He's a really good blocker, very good positional game player, and everything like that. So, yeah, it is what it is.
Well, Joel, any final observations?
No, just thank you both of you guys for agreeing to play on our stream.
My pleasure. I would like to say one final thing, and that's about this beauty right here, Echo.
Mm-hmm.
She is absolutely terrifying. and like the way I did not think I could bring her down at all at the beginning of this, just because she's so maneuverable. Those bank decloaks, wonderful upgrades, and in the hands of an experienced player like Charley, I was just like, okay, that's a lost cause. Let's try something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably chased the more viable target for sure. That particular Echo, I don't know how many permutations Joel and I have run it through in different lists and everything. But I think Joel originally got me onto the bandwagon for that, and I've loved flying that particular build right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it didn't change points with the points update.
Yep, 1 down, 1 up.
We got away with that one, boys.
Yeah, well, thank you both for joining us tonight. Joel, thank you as well, and thank you to all of our viewers out there. We will be back next week with week 5 of the 2nd season of the League of Barons, and we hope to see y'all there. We'll have more new point action, as next week all games will be under the new points. Y'all were gracious, I say, enough to fly under new points tonight. Not that Charley cared, as his Echo remained the same. But yeah, I think that is everything. So until next week, everyone have a good night and stay safe out there.